Aloha everyone, this is May 16th and 17th of the 2018 Kilauea Eruption. Today we're going to be looking at some of the ash explosions up at Halema'uma'u and also the continued eruption in the Lower East Rift Zone. We begin May 16th back in the Lower East Rift Zone at Fissure 17, which remains active at this time, even though the flows that have been produced from that fissure over the previous day have generally not advanced very far, pretty stagnant. There's been intermittent activity at the other fissures in the Halema'uma'u area. Generally not much of a flow field being produced by any of these. This really is the calm before the storm. Activity is really going to start picking up over the next couple days. This video shows an area between fissures 16 and 20 in the Halema'uma'u area. Fissure 20 also has some weird labeling around it. There's a couple different spots that could be designated Fissure 20, but it's more of a fissure complex that gets designated as Fissure 20. Kind of weird, but we're going to roll with it. Back up at the Kilauea summit at Halema'uma'u, the ash columns that have been produced from the explosions taking place inside the park have been growing in size. We're about to see the largest ash column produced in 2018, which topped out at 30,000 feet. It's a big ash cloud. It had managed to put these rocks into the parking lot flung hundreds of yards from the crater itself. These rocks are about 2 feet in diameter. They're big rocks. They're going to do damage if they come down around you. But thankfully, nobody was around that area of the park when these explosions took place. There's also cracks starting to emerge in Highway 11, which is the highway that runs along the northern perimeter of the national park and the caldera. There's been subsidence inside the caldera itself, which has started to make cracks emerge in the roads as the area deflates. Back in the Lower East Rift Zone, the eruption is relatively quiet on the night of May 16th, at least in terms of new volcanic activity. No new fissures emerged, lava flows are fairly stagnant. It's very unquiet in terms of the sound that Fissure 17 is still putting out. It's been doing this for a couple days now. Every couple minutes, every minute, these loud explosions fill the air, rattle the windows, really make it hard for anybody in the area to get a good night's rest, especially with the stress that the eruption has added. Before transitioning to May 17th, we need to at least talk about some of the earthquake activity that's been happening. Earthquakes that foreshadowed the intrusion of magma in the Halema'uma'u area are now happening back in Leilani Estates, perhaps foreshadowing the next sequence of this eruption. Back in Leilani Estates, the cracks that have already split through the subdivision have started to widen very rapidly. These cracks started out with just small splits in the concrete, are now multiple feet across. Chris Brewmeister here is going with Andrew Hara to check out the Nohea Street crack, which is deteriorating very, very rapidly. Here's Nohea a little bit later, photographed by the USGS. You can see the changes in elevation between one side of the road and the other. And this is true also on Pu'u Road, which is also just being split multiple times by these parallel running cracks. So there's something I want to talk about here, but I'm not exactly sure how you're supposed to talk about it, so I'm just going to talk about it in the way that I know how to. It's these explosions and the effect that they're having on the local population, especially in the close proximity to the erupted vent. Fissure 17 is making these loud explosions that shake the walls, shake the windows, every minute, every couple of minutes, for days on end. And this has to have some psychological effect on people. One of the things I've always wondered about is what would it have been like to have been at the battles of Verdun or the Somme in World War I. These battles that were highlighted by near constant artillery barrages that causing significant psychological impact on the troops there, especially the troops that were present for prolonged periods of time. The term shell shock was coined in this era. It's an imprecise term, but it helps highlight kind of the impact that these explosions are making on the troops themselves, not just psychologically, but also physically. Now, there's something to be said about the sleep deprivation and also the insane amount of stress that the people were going under. Now, some of that can be translated loosely to living around the eruption in this state for a prolonged period. There's some psychological impact on the people, some form of PTSD for those that were there for days on end. The late afternoon of May 17th, Fissure 21 in Lower Leilani Estates activates. Fissure 21 is putting down a fast-moving lava flow, more fluid, less viscous than many that we've seen thus far. And this is taking up the streets of Lower Leilani Estates one by one. The fissures 17, 18, 19, 20, these have all seemed to reactivate going into that night. This is the beginning of the escalation of the 2018 eruption that'll come in the next day. Two important notes about the weather. One is that the trade winds, the predominant wind patterns that push the volcanic gas in a more predictable direction, have not been around in these couple days. The trades have been inconsistent, and that allows the gas to waft to the north and start inundating areas, gassing out areas that don't normally get the gas as significantly as places on the southwest side of the eruption. The second thing is the weather systems that the eruption is creating. So the eruption, with the extreme heat that's coming out of these eruptive vents, is creating updrafts that gather pyrocumulus clouds immediately around the eruption site, and these are saturating the area with tremendous amounts of rain. But these rain clouds do not travel. They don't extend very far from the eruption. It's mostly the areas exactly around the lava flows that is just getting the most out of these storms. That'll do it for May 16th and 17th. We sit at the last days of phase 1 of the eruption, looking into phase 2, which starts on May 18th. We're already looking at some hotter, more fluid magma, and we're going to be seeing what that does in the coming days. Thank you for joining me. Aloha.